the liberal class, they would call like Russia and China authoritarian, but we live in literally a police state. We in a position right now where the reason why the Democratic Party is pushing to expand the police budgets even more is to counteract the social unrest that is coming. So now you have, in response to late-stage capitalism, you have both sides that are welcoming the police state, the expansion of the police state, because they need to keep the workers under control as our economy fails. That is what late-stage capitalism is. Not only that, you got workers everywhere. Workers of all different professions that are on strike. I see teachers on strike, nurses on strike, these people on strike, these people, everyone's on strike. Everyone wants to strike if they're not on strike. So you got workers upset, you got the police state being established, and among the workers that are upset are the teachers. There's a giant teacher shortage that is going on right now. And the reason why there's a teacher shortage, according to literally anyone who has common sense, is the way they're treated in their pay, especially the load and amount that they had to take on because of budget cuts, where they had to increase schooling size, increase class sizes. Then you had the burden that they had on, and that continues to this day regarding COVID-19. And you had the Missouri State Commission told, they say low pay, lack of support is fueling teacher shortage. And Missouri, obviously that's my state, right? They have the lowest. Actually, I'm gonna find my other receipt because I can find it real quick. They actually have the lowest teacher pay in my state, and my state is really bad with the teacher shortage. So how do capitalists handle this issue? They don't. Capitalism is not designed to fix issues; it's designed to exploit. So you got all the teachers that are leaving education, something that is extremely important for our society to educate our kids. Now there's massive teacher shortage, so our society couldn't maintain the amount of teachers it needs for a growing population. That is what you call a failed state. Like you literally cannot meet the needs that you need to educate children. So here's Missouri. Look at this. You guys see how crazy this is, kid? Missouri ranks last in teachers' salary. This is my state. $32,000 a year. What? 32 grand a year is the average teacher salary in this state. They got paid for supplies. They do extra credit with homework. They got giant teacher class sizes. And with this kind of pay, people are like, oh my God, I can't believe the teachers are leaving. So what is the right-wing answer to this? What you expect. There is no capitalist solution to this problem. Right now, the capitalists want to cut out the middleman of the prison to school pipeline, where now you just have the cops become teachers. And I actually want to show this unhinged clip. I'm gonna do something I usually don't do. I'm gonna show you guys this clip from Fox News where they talk about this policy and they defend it. Ron DeSantis is a fascist authoritarian. This is the guy who banned government officials from supporting BDS, cracked down on the First Amendment rights of protesters. You got people like, well, he didn't ban protesting. He just tell you where you can protest. A protest where you got to ask for a permission slip and beg the government is a prep rally.
Can I add something? Because that sounds very similar to what I saw in 2016 and 2017 when we were covering like all the protests against Trump. Everyone would always march from a government building, like all the activists in Oregon, would then march to Trump Tower here in the city of Chicago. Now, Trump Tower is across the river of Chicago, so people would always be protesting, but they'd be herded into this cage area like sheep. I remember the first time I stepped out, and I'm outside the crowd because I wanted to get a wide shot of everyone marching in, and then I noticed they're all being sheep herded into like a cage. People, you never get a permission slip to protest, and you never get sheep herded into a cage. Malcolm X and Dr. King should come out from the grave and start slapping people upside the head for asking for permission slips or being put into a cage area like that. I mean, come on. So Malcolm X especially should be rising up from the dead, start yelling people.
It's crazy how the two-party duopoly turned people to fucking bootlickers, right?
I know.
And now you got people. I literally see people who call themselves right-wing populists. They're like, I'm anti-establishment, but I support Ron DeSantis telling people where to protest. Tucker Carlson did segments like, yeah, oh my God, you guys are being so mean. You guys are being so mean to the rich Supreme Court justices.
I don't care.
So I'm gonna get to what he's doing in response to this teacher shortage, because Florida is among the worst on how they treat teachers as well. So Florida got massive teacher protest, a lot of them quitting their jobs. So now they're saying they want to get cops in schools. And I'm gonna play this Fox News segment while we have time. I don't think I'm gonna play that much of it, but you're gonna see Ron DeSantis start by saying we are battling wokeness. Now, wokeness is this new lizard brain that the right-wing propagandists have trained their audience to completely rob them of their critical thinking skills that come after that, right? So if you say you're battling the woke mob, they will allow you to engage in whatever authoritarian or fascist tactics after that. We find woke mobs like brand protesting, hell yeah. He activates their lizard brain. So then he's like, we're going to fight the woke mob by putting cops in schools. And they're like, yeah. Mm-hmm. So let's play this clip, and then we're going to watch Fox News defend the insane idea of having cops and untrained veterans. And keep this in mind, 40% of cops admit to committing domestic violence. 40%.
You know, and the fact that, again, look, a barber in America goes to school longer than an officer does, an officer of law. And, you know, there in other countries, at the bare minimum, it takes a year to become a police officer. In some other countries, here in the United States, it's shorter than what a barber has to go through.
So think about that. Let's play this video while we still got you here, and I'll play a little bit. I'll get your reaction. This is a crazy. I remember I was watching this while I was doing chores, and this is crazy because I want, like I always do, I want to see the counter argument. The idea you're gonna put if you and they do this thing where they worship police and veterans, and they're like, well, the police will say so honorable, the veterans so honorable. Even if you're not as radical me, you think police and veterans are honorable. Will you ask them to fix your TV if it breaks down? Will you ask them to fix your look at your car engine? Look at this insane ideology. I think I prefaced it. Now let's watch this video while I still have you here. This Fox News clip. Oh shit, hold on. Let me make sure the audio is right. Well, here we go.
The state of Florida is the state, is the place where woke goes to die. We are not going to let this state. We're not going to let this state descend into some type of woke dumpster fire. We're going to be following common sense. We're going to be following, facts, and that's just really, really important.
That's Governor Ron DeSantis standing up to the woke ideology taking over schools across the country and in his home state of Florida. The governor is offering a unique plan to tackle the national teacher shortage by hiring retired police officers, military veterans, and first responders. DeSantis says their real-life experience makes these retirees a perfect fit to counter the ideology he says gets drilled into today's young minds. The governor had more to say about this a short while ago.
We believe that veterans offer a lot to our communities. We want to harness that. We want to harness those experiences, being in those military units, understanding how to lead people, understanding how to be in difficult circumstances. And so our view is that, those folks are bringing a wealth of experience and knowledge. We want them to look to our education system as a place where they can land and continue to serve our communities.
Joey, I think this is a fantastic idea. Our veterans know about the values of bravery, heroism. I don't have to tell you, service to the country. That's who I want teaching my kids. I love this.
No, I like it. I think really the genius here is how do you circumvent the indoctrination of universities? You go find someone that might have gotten a 4-year degree, but has spent 20 years doing real world things, not academic things. Just like sometimes small towns will hire veterans and put them out on the police force and give them kind of a crash course. That's not a good way to set them up for success. You have to take a veteran, teach them to be a police officer. There's a difference between seeking the enemy and wanting to kill it and having to treat the enemy to protect the enemy, which is what officers have to do. The bad guys, they still have to protect them as they bring them into jail. So one thing I will say is I hope that the second step of that plan is to bring these veterans, first responders, just because they have a 4-year degree, and teach them to be a teacher. But not teach them to be a radical left ideologue who is indoctrinating children. That has nothing to do with teaching. And I think the idea here is if you find someone that has already had a career in public service, doing something honorable, they're probably not bringing in a bunch of academic ideas that really teach you to hate this country.
Okay, so there's a couple of things unpacked with all that.
Yeah, go ahead. One, so much.
All right. So when you look at, again, the record of the police force here in the United States, a lot of cops are get involved with corruption, abuse here in the city of Chicago alone. There's a lot of unchecked corruption. In 2017, Daniel and myself, we actually covered the exoneration project where 16 black men were exonerated from crimes that they did not commit thanks to the corruption of 4 Chicago police officers. But they were only scratching the surface to that entire investigation because, again, 16 black men were proven innocent. How many more men and women here in the city of Chicago who are behind bars or in the state of Illinois are wrongly there? We don't know. We don't know, but we do know that there is unchecked police corruption. I also want to point out here too, so you're going from one indoctrination to another. Are we really challenging what's happening here in our system? And the answer is no. You go from one extreme to the other, but remind you, again, it's not really left or right. It's indoctrinating people to accept the neoliberal centrist system that we are in. This ridiculous puritanical world that we live in, where you have to work, 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 and you'll somehow make it. Work, 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 work until you die. Work, 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 and you get close to God. Puritanical logic. And mind you, when I say Puritans, this is the ideology that came from the Pilgrims. And before anyone who's conservative types into the Pilgrims were religiously persecuted. No, 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 no. Everyone got tired of their shit. You couldn't drink, you couldn't smoke, you couldn't enjoy. The Pilgrims, the Puritans, were the ones that canceled Christmas. Of all things, they are the ones to do it first. So before anyone else sits here, oh, work, 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 or believe in the dream, even though people are being evicted from their homes and apartments and small businesses are being consumed, you'll own nothing and be happy. Again, everyone's biggest regret on their deathbed is, I wish I didn't work so hard. I wish I actually enjoyed life. Those are people's final words when they've been suckered into a system, working at a dead-end job, dying. Okay, so this whole thing about somehow reforming the education system, you know, it takes a while to actually get a degree to work with children. Okay, you just can't just put a veteran or a police officer
Exactly.
in there. Because again, you got people who have development issues, ADHD. You have children who have other learning disabilities as well. And it takes time to understand. And yet, sadly, what a lot of those veterans and police officers will be walking into is the world that teachers have been dealing with for a long time. Teachers have been vilified by Democratic and Republican lawmakers. Teachers are somehow the bad guys here in America, even though it's corporations that are skimming us and bleeding us dry. It's the teachers that are somehow the villains. So again, they'll be walking into that environment, seeing how underfunded our public schools are, how many children are being left behind, and how the United States is falling drastically behind compared to our neighbors in the international community. So you're not fixing the problem. You're trying to put a Band-Aid on a gangrenous wound, and it's not going to heal anything. There needs to be a real investment into education and actually helping teachers, not woke ideology. It's actually trying to enlighten students. And the way we have education here in America is antiquated. It is severely antiquated. And whatever DeSantis is trying to do, he's trying to keep up the centrist message. Don't challenge the system. And if you're going to get involved in politics, either vote Team Blue or Team Red. But don't think outside the box. Do your job. Shut up. Consume the media. Buy product. Live. Die. That's it. And if that's what education is coming to in America, which it is at this point, we need to uphold. We need to remove the entire system.
Yeah, they want us to have a dumbed down population. The Rockefellers designed public education. It was all about having just worker ads. And the same way they put cops in school, they do that so they can get people used to prison and living in a police state, because we do live in a police state. So now they're just getting rid of the middleman. Now they can have cops as teachers. And as you mentioned, and I had teachers I'll talk to about this. It takes a lot to become a teacher, a lot of training. They don't care that the kids is going to have a devalued, trash education, which we already do in this country. Our education is already trash, and now they're going to make it worse. And now we look at Ron DeSantis, we see exactly what we've been telling liberals for quite some time. I would tell them, I don't understand Trump derangement syndrome. He just one average member of the ruling class who showed the Republicans how to take advantage of the base that they radicalized, that the Liz Cheney's radicalized. You know, the birther? You know, the person who still defends torture? Liz Cheney in the Lincoln Project manifested the Republican voter base out with their insane bullshit. Now liberals wanted to pretend that Trump was somehow unique. So we told them that, hey, even if Trump goes, there's going to be a new guy who takes over, who does exactly what he does, but does it better. Enter Ron DeSantis. Competent version. So look at how dangerous this is. This is why I say, as a socialist, you guys need to indoctrinate your kids. Because either you're going to do it or the state's going to do it.